Meanwhile, two Republican lawmakers rushed to save a life after finding an unconscious man not breathing in a U.S. Capitol elevator. Pennsylvania Congressman Tim Murphy used a defibrillator and did some CPR while overseen by Texas Congressman and physician Dr. Michael Burgess. They got the guy's pulse back before EMTs rushed him off to the hospital. And those two Capitol Hill heroes join us live right now from Capitol Hill. Guys, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
Okay, so Congressman Murphy, I know you are by trade a psychologist. Have you ever had the occasion to jump into action like this before?
No, but it's part of, I'm in the Navy too, and part of your training is you've got to know how to do this. If you're medical service corps, medical corps in the Navy, you've got to get CPR trained, have that. You rehearse it a lot for these kind of situations, around many emergency situations.
Sure.
And when I saw him and recognized, you right away find out if there's no pulse, no respiration, you have to go into action.
So explain how you found him. The elevator's doors opened up and there was this guy passed out on the floor?
Right, in the Rayburn Members Office Building, the elevator door opened. There he was face down, arms aside, just it looked like there was a little bit of movement, attempts at movement, but tried to revive him, checked the pulse, no pulse, so then you had to move him out of that elevator. It was very cramped. It's heavy, and I had to get other staff to do that, shouting out for staff, get an AED, the defibrillator, call 911. My staff was pretty magnificent. They just ran into action as if we rehearsed this. And then just pulled him out and just started chest compressions. That's what you've got to start doing immediately. And it's one of those situations, Steve, I don't know if you're trained in this, but you better be, because 70% of Americans feel they're helpless in a moment like this. And some people were helpless, and some people were part of the action. I have another staff member, Darcy. Turns out she's had no CPR training. I didn't know this, so she starts with some of the breathing. Another staff member, Scott, he sprints off several floors to go find policemen. But that's what's necessary in a situation like this. We hope he's okay now.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you talked about the defibrillator training. I've actually had it. Well, a lot of us here at Fox have had the CPR training as well. You can, by the way, for folks watching, I mentioned earlier that some of the defibrillators I've seen cost $3,000. They do start. You can buy one on Amazon today for $1,100. Dr. Burgess, let's talk a little bit about your role in this. There you come up. You see your colleague, Congressman Murphy, performing CPR, doing the defibrillator as well. What'd you do?
Well, as you can imagine, an event like this causes a significant commotion. My office is not too far down the hall from Congressman Murphy's, so when I heard all the activity out, obviously you got to go investigate. My main role was to just monitor his airway. The man did have a fairly significant laceration on his scalp, which had bled a lot, but the bleeding seemed to be under control by the time all this was going on.
And doctor, this is not the first time you have helped revive somebody on Capitol Hill, right?
Right, or on a plane in an airport, and Tim's exactly right. You need to, when you're in the airport, you see these little AED stations all the time. You need to know where they are, how to run, get one. The whole purpose of an AED is for a witness to rest. You can oftentimes bring someone back in pretty short order.
Sure. And Congressman Murphy, before we go, do we know how the guy you revived is today?
We know that when he left, he had a heartbeat. I mean, a shock was delivered by the AED. He had a heartbeat. He was breathing, still struggling. And now it's in the hands of the doctors, and in God, just pray for him. We hope he's okay in his family.
Absolutely. Well,
prayers for the family.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Doctor. You're not just Congressman dedicating your life to serving the public, but yesterday you were a couple of lifesavers. Dr. Michael Burgess and Congressman Tim Murphy. Guys, thank you very much, and thanks for being in the right place at the right time.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet.